Anything else we want to talk about when it comes to Power Crushes, or are we okay with that one? Because I have something quite interesting to show you with one of our guests on the show. Ladies and lads, there was a tweet made by our very own Arslan Ash. Tekken 8 be like, heat burst, heat smash, power crushes, heat engages, throws. That's it. Seriously, why did they even bother giving each character a variety of moves? Hashtag Tekken 8. Now, the reason why I showed this tweet is because of something that actually me and Speedkicks were talking about just before we started the stream, and it was our good friend Ryan Hart, the legend. He apparently it was a podcast done where he spoke about the old games, old days, and I didn't watch it, so you guys can correct me on that. But I guess the topic was and the general gist of what he was saying was that games are easier now. That's the direction that we're going in when it comes to fighting games, and this is something that I've heard from top players when it comes to Tekken 8 as well. I'm not going to name drop, but some of the Korean players have been talking about it. And then there's been the whole, if this guy was playing Tekken 7, he wouldn't survive. He would be, this guy would be nowhere, nothing. But Tekken 8, the mechanics are carrying him, So what do we think about that? What do we think about the game getting easier, or is this game getting easier? Is it providing a crutch for players to be able to win? Is the skill gap closing now, as was said on that podcast? What do we think? Anyone can start. I don't know.
I think my take, why I wrote that. I think my take was, okay, so I think all of us, we have been playing. I don't know about Super Akuma, but I know about like Speedkick, Joe and him. We have been playing from Tekken 6 at least, yeah. Super Akuma, what was the game?
Playing since Tekken 6.
I started in Tag 2. I started when Tag 2 came out.
Tag 2, okay, perfect. Mm-hmm. And like we have been playing like down for one side step, down for basic games. And when I'm fighting recent newcomers, and new players in Tekken 8, what they're doing is they're going to power crushes, heat smashes, down back force, and then power crush again into heat engager. I think this is not good. This is not Tekken. This is not what we used to play. I am just against, I think, this idea, and this is why I did post about this. What do you guys think? I mean, even Tekken 7 was, they introduced rage art, they introduced rage drives and other stuff, but still we were playing poking based games. We were playing defensive and offensive options we had. Right now, what it feels like, we only have offensive option. That's the only approach that you have to take if you want to win or if you want to survive in this game. Before, it's up to us if you want to play defensive, if you want to play offensive. Even with one character, let's say if you are playing with Katarina, you could play offensive and you could also play defensive with the same character. But now it doesn't feel like chip damage, grabs, homing grabs, heat smash, heat burst, power crushes. Like, you cannot play neutral based games, or you cannot play poking based game. This is like, I don't like it.
Speedkicks, what do you think of that?
I think it's just it's a different game style. I personally didn't like Tekken 7, right? I thought the game rewarded defense. I thought the game was too Why? I did not like I did not like the way that there were times in Tekken 7 where the smartest move was to just not interact, right? Like there were times where you just sit there and you look at the other dude and you're like, hey, I have this huge lead, and he's sitting there, he's fuzzy parrying every time you step up, and he's been showing the magic fours, and you're like, well, the smart thing to do here is to just hold the lead and threaten him but not actually interact. I didn't like that. I didn't like that coming from Tekken Tag 2, where I felt like I would just, not get low parried and magic forward for my whole life bar. So when I played 7, I had to adapt to it when it first came out. And you guys, some of you guys were there. I tweeted a lot about that game as it was coming out. I was like, bro, I hate this game. I like Tag 2 more. This game style's whatever. But it took a while for me to be able to kind of develop a respect for what people were doing in Tekken 7, right? When Tekken 7 came out, I was seeing people who probably did not have the skill set to play in the more interactive Tekkens, but they were doing fine in Tekken 7. I was like, this guy sucks at Tekken. this guy wouldn't be good in the other Tekkens. He's only good at Tekken 7. And then as the game went on, I was like, you know what? It's not his fault. That's the way the game is played. He's playing with what's here. There are players that could do well in Tekken 7 that probably couldn't do well in Tekken Tag 2. There are players that could do well in Tekken Tag 2 that probably couldn't do well in Tekken 7. So it's just a new game style. I have to adapt to it. And I think the same of Tekken 8 right now. There are players who probably were good at Tekken 7. They won't be good at Tekken 8. But there are players that are probably good at Tekken 8 who couldn't do anything in Tekken 7. And I just think that just comes with the game being different. My issue right now, though, is with the balance, right? So the balance does allow people to win kind of people who wouldn't be good ever at anything win, but that at anything, at anything ever. But that's just a balance issue. When the balance goes out the way, I think the game style is going to be what it is going to be, and we're solid enough to adapt to the game, so I believe we'll be fun. And I have no real love for the Tekken 7 style, so I'm not sad to see it go.
So the Tekken 7 style, when you in my chat before, you said it just to make it in a nutshell, you said you prefer brain dead offense over brain dead defense. Is that still your?
Yeah. So
Tekken 7 was brain dead defense.
I think it was not super involved defensively, like sitting there doing your fuzzy parries, your side steps, you just back dashing for 60 seconds. You hit. I played Kunimitsu for like $4,000, bro. That shit. But like you just
Arslan's face,
I played Kunimitsu. I was like just moving backwards, like this is fine. Set 2 every so often, die back 3 and running the clock game. I didn't enjoy that at all. I would much rather be losing or winning by going in and hitting the other guy and getting hit, as opposed to what I was doing in the game.
I disagree with like everything he said. To be very honest, I mean the first thing. It's like the first thing is that Tekken 8 is completely different as compared to Tekken 6, Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 7. They all are like very similar when it comes to like the generic, basic game plan. But Tekken 8 is a completely different game, and I know that a lot of people are saying even Joka is saying it's like vanilla version. They're gonna fix it, but I think the direction they are going, I don't like it. Like they are just adding heat engagers, like heat and other stuff, heat burst, heat engager, heat smash. Like the whole idea, I don't like it. It's like the game is for like noobs at the moment. It feels like it's not for like competitive players. Like this is what I'm gonna say. Like you tell me like what you feel. Like let him explain.
Like I missed Tekken 7. I think having backdash as a defensive option was a very good idea. I think having backdash as a defensive option now with heat would just like eliminate a lot of canned mix-up situations. I personally think I understand what people are saying. They don't like the new style of playing Tekken. But again, I don't think it's going to stay like this. I think it's going to change over time. It's only been 2 months. With time, the meta will change. We'll develop new strats. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. I do miss just backdashing and poking instead of shitting out, key engagements, high crashes and everything.
Like in the Tekken 6 to Tekken 7, we have been playing like this. We have been doing backdashes, jabs. We have been doing neutral 4 combo. Okay, let's not add neutral 4 combos. But the basic idea of Tekken was always about this. From Tekken 3 times, it was the basic idea. You have to play you have to do backdash and come closer to your opponent. There must be some strategies to do that. But now it's like very obvious. You are just running towards your opponent and doing power crush, and doing power crush or either heat burst, and then that's it. It's like it's no logic. It's very stupid.
It's like there's less thinking involved now. Like you can just do certain moves, and the risk reward is just like insane.
Yeah, well, I think
that's part. If you don't know anything, you go for heat smash, and then you take plus frame. You block. I agree with Kokoma's tweets where he said that it's like a 50-50. We are in casino or something. I think I agree with that part as well.
I think a lot of that has to do with how strong the moves are themselves, though, right? Like the game style is naturally going to be more interactive, where you just have to hit people. But the moves and the characters are so strong that all it takes is like 1 or 2 of these things to work for you, and then you win. I think if when the characters and the moves get toned down, then they'll be able to do this stuff, but they'll actually have to place them like intelligently. And when as you're trying to feel out like the intelligent placement for this stuff, you'll just be using your movement and your pokes and all that stuff. But right now the other stuff it's just too rewarding to hit like it's too rewarding to hit the power crush, the heat engager, the throw, and you can just keep going forward so much that like it feels like that's all there is to the game right now.
Joey, do you agree with that? You've heard both sides, speakers.
So there was those phrases that you used of like that Speedkicks was saying, like mindless offense and like mindless defense, and he prefers like mindless offense. I don't know if I can really conceive of this idea of mindless defense. So like, yeah, you can have like a very strong backdash and like disengage, hit and run. And Speedkicks is very familiar with playing that style, of course. He was doing that with Kunimitsu, and he was kind of saying like, well, like this isn't fun, it's not enjoyable. But I have this feeling that you've reached a level in Tekken where you're very good at doing that, and it almost seems like trivial and disengaged to you, but that's an extremely difficult thing for people to learn how to execute in Tekken, and it requires a ton of knowledge and dedication and like discipline, patience to play that way. It was a way that Arslan played in Tekken 7, take him to the infinite stage, hit and run with Kunimitsu. And maybe a player would say this doesn't feel like very fun to do, or a spectator might say this might not like look very fun to watch, but I don't think I could ever call it mindless, because I think it requires so much work and talent to play that way. Whereas the idea of mindless offense, that's extremely easy for me to conceive of. running two down back 3+4 heat smash, anybody can do that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think we can definitely see like there could be trade-offs, like the game could be more accessible or more exciting if it's more offensive. But I think like defense to me is always playing defense in Tekken at a very high level is extremely impressive, even if it can be boring and disengaged or uninteractive, however somebody wants to characterize it. So that's where I think like Arslan's concerns come from, because I think mindless offense is a much more concerning thing than quote unquote mindless defense. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
So much. It's